much. Let's get to the floor show traders, Larry Shover and Tom Hayes. Tom, okay, crystal ball exercise here. Indulge me. What gray swan or unexpected event might we see in August, and what are you buying ahead of that?
Yeah, well, I think the big gray swans that everyone is looking at, Liz, are the Delta variant accelerating. Although we saw it both in the UK and India after 45 and 50 days, respectively, they seem like they might be peaking. But the other one that very few people are looking at is the possibility of an Iran deal, which would put a lot of new oil on the market, and that might rattle the credit market. So those are low probability events. We're still seeing earnings estimates going up materially from 213 to 217 for 2022 just this week alone. So we're generally positive, but we do want to get defensive with some healthcare stocks.
Healthcare. Okay, so this is interesting. You say nobody's really been lately, at least, talking about the Iran situation. I want to get to Larry Shover. Tom just busted a move with that. What gray swans do you anticipate, if any? Because we might not, right? I know you've been bullish, but you also have always a little bit of a cautious thread running through that. What do you see, and where should we be investing right now?
Yeah, well, I think it's the old playbook. I mean, back in April, we were in that reflation mode, and now it's back to the low growth, low inflation. I think core PCE kind of justified that. So for me, I'm back into stocks that, the playbook from 10 years ago, staples like Procter & Gamble, healthcare, AbbVie, one of my favorites and long-term holdings. Apple, you have to have Apple in your portfolio, and then luxury stocks like Ralph Lauren. I think it makes sense in a low growth, low inflation environment. I mean, reflation could come back. Yields were 50 basis points higher back in April, but to get back up there, the Delta variant has to find its way, and the trajectory out of the pandemic has to become a lot more clear because, let's face it, with the Fed, they're talking about tapering. There's less easing on the horizon. Tightening is something that's coming down the pike, and with the divergence between us, the ECB, Bank of Japan, I think that's where we need to be.
Hey, Tom, we got the second quarter employment cost index. Okay, neither of you two mentioned inflation. That employment cost index up 0.7%, wages and salaries up 3.2% year over year. Inflation's a thing. Okay, no matter what Jay Powell of the Federal Reserve says, is it not? So are there plays that you like here or that you dislike here?
Yeah, Chair Powell's bet is that a lot of labor supply is going to come back on after the unemployment benefits expire in September. We're going to know in October and November. But the plays I like defensive this time of year in the healthcare sector, Cigna is number one. It's off 15% off its recent highs. This is a new pick for us. It's trading at 9.8 times next year's earnings compared to 12 times historic multiple. It pays a 1.7% dividend yield. Their Evernorth business, which is pharmacy services, is up 13% year on year last quarter. The health insurance is up 5%, and they're going to report on Tuesday. So we're really looking forward to that. That's brand new. And the other two we've given before, Novartis in the mid-80s, they crushed earnings. EPS was up 22%. Revenues were up 14%. And Pfizer, we gave on your show in the mid-30s. They crushed earnings. Their EPS was up 72% and revenues up 92%. So we like both of these names plowing higher, and Cigna is a new pick for us. We also like that. And by the way, with all of these, they pay dividend yields that are greater than the 10-year yield while you wait.
Yeah, Pfizer up slightly today, but to 42.84. Quickly, Larry, we've got the Delta variant. Is that peaking? Do you not expect it to be a bigger issue in August?
Well, it could be. I mean, who knows? But what I do know, or what I think, is that divergence is gigantic between us and other parts of the country, other parts of the world. And so with that said, it seems like the global economy is running on 1 out of 3 cylinders. And so what happens when that gets better, if or when it gets better? At the end of the day, I mean, when you look at financial conditions, you look at the stock market, except for today, the market's saying it's pretty content to take on the risk of the Delta variant and just move the goalposts for the trajectory of the pandemic or getting out of the pandemic.
All right. Well, listen, guys, the bull rally and the bull market survive another month, no matter what. All of these things that keep getting thrown at the markets, they just punch back. Tom Hayes, Larry Shover, have a good Friday. Thank you so much. Fox Business Alert. Now we've got about 53 minutes.